Hello everyone, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this Christmas paper crafting tutorial. This is the project we're making today. It's this little card, but actually it's a money wallet and it can also be for a gift card. Isn't it cute? And then you've got this lovely little body band here that fits on it. There we go. And let's push it back on properly. And then I've got this lovely little sentiment that says Merry and Bright. We've done a little bit of decoration. Now this paper here is the Christmas Tags and More designer series paper, and I love it. It's so pretty. But for today's, and the colour here is Cherry Cobbler. For today's one we're going to do slightly different. We're going to use Garden Green. So I've got a piece here of Garden Green cardstock. I'm just going to bring in my trimmer and we're going to do a little bit of scoring. So this is a standard card base. So this measures, let me see what this measures. This measures 21 centimeters by 14.85 centimeters. So basically it's half a sheet of A4 cardstock. I'm sorry about that glare. Let me sort of see if I move it here if it's a bit better. Right, so we're going to do a little bit of scoring. I'm going to start here. I'm going to score at 6 centimeters on either side. So 6 centimeters. And then I'm going to flip it around to the other side and score it on the other side at 6 centimeters. There we go. And that's all the scoring we're going to do. So let's move our trimmer out of the way and let's fold on those score lines. So let me find my bone folder, wherever it's hiding. Here it is. Bone folder, one of my favourite craft tools ever. Could not craft without this. So useful. And there we've got the start of our little piece here. So I'm going to put some designer series paper down. You could put some on the back, but I haven't bothered. I'm going to use some of this gorgeous Traditions of Christmas designer series paper with this lovely gold foiling that you can see here. So let's stick this to the front. Now all the measurements, I should say, for this project you will find on the blog post, and that is linked in the description box below, as well as the supply list. You can sort of shop everything that I've used today in my online shop. And if you do find something is out of stock or is retired, if you're watching this much later, you will find lots of alternatives there as well. Okay. Gosh, this paper is so pretty, isn't it? I really love it. So these pieces are exactly the same. I feel the gold foiling really is perfect for Christmas. It really is. So cute. I'm going to put this piece on the outside here. As I said, you can put a piece on the back if you so wish. I'm not going to bother. I'm not doing anything on the inside either. I'm just going to leave it like that. Now to make our pocket, I want to put a bead of glue. Doesn't matter which one you do at the moment, they're the same. Just along these two edges here. So just a thin bead of glue, if your glue wants to play ball. Mine is getting towards the end of its life, but being a crafter, I'm determined to use every bit that I can. You could use tear and tape, but I prefer to just use this. Gives me a little bit more wriggle room, and give that a good press down. There we go. And that's going to make a little pocket. I'm not going to open it now. Let that glue set for a while. So next thing to do is make our belly band. Now my belly band is going to be in contrasting colour this time, and this colour is Real Red. So I'm going to start off here in the centre. I'm not going to give you, I'll give you a measurement how wide it is, and it's about 6.5 centimeters wide is my strip here. And you need a strip that's going to be long enough to fold round. So I'm not sure how long mine is. It's about 22 centimeters. So I'm just going to fold. I'm not going to measure, score anything yet. I'm just going to fold it around, because everybody's score lines are going to be slightly scoring, maybe slightly out. It's never exactly. So I'm going to fold it and just pinch and make sure that it's not too tight. Now I'm going to go back and make sure this is even. And now I'm going to reinforce those score lines with my bone folder. And we're going to do the same for both of them here. Okay, so bring back my thingy-majiggy here, technical term that, I'm going to have it like that I think, and then I'm going to put a bead of glue, so just a little bit of glue along here and then along the top there, and then hold those two down, make sure they line up, just give them a bit of a press, and then I've got a punch here I'm going to be using in a second, so I'm just going to set that on top of my punch to hold everything in place until we are ready. Just move it away so you don't have any glare there. Right, let's do some stamping. Gonna get a scrap piece here of basic white that's hiding from me in amongst all my other scraps, of course. Put those away. Right, and I'm going to use Garden Green ink. Stamps that I'm going to use is this one called Sign Design, and I'm going to use here that says Merry and Bright. So I need a block for that. Let's find one of those. It's a bit big. This will do better. I don't like to use a block that's too big for my stamps. No, I prefer to sort of have one that's roughly the right size. And I'm just going to take my ink pad to my stamp. You can do it the other way, whatever works best for you. There's no right or wrong way. I just find it works better like that for me. So I'm just going to be in shot if possible, move that out of the way, and then I'm just going to push down, hold, give it a bit of a press, hold it for a few seconds. Perfect. Love that. Right, close up our ink pad. I'm going to bring in my simple chamois and give that a little bit of a clean up. Take that off the block. Put the block away so we have a bit of space, because I don't know if you're like me, but if you're not careful, you end up crafting in the area the size of a postage stamp, unfortunately. I'm going to bring in the matching punch, which is the Sign Design punch. And we're going to punch this out, so always punch from the back side, so then you can see exactly what you're doing. So something like that. Get rid of that scrap, and then I'm going to put this on the front here, and it's going to cover our seam. So I'm going to get some dimensionals out. I'm going to use up some of my strips here, my edges of my dimension. They're all good dimensional. So that's used up and finished. And then I'll just put a few more on here for good luck. I'm generous with my dimensionals, but that will do even for me. So give it a bit of a press down so we can get those backings off easily. All glue is pressure adhesive, so the harder you press, the better seal you're going to get. So let's put this there, just over our seam, and then let's decorate a little bit and see what we want to do. I'm going to push this up a little bit, I've just decided. Just a little bit like that. And then we're going to bring in, I've cut out here some pieces, and this is going to make a little bow. And I've got 2 holly leaves here, and that's a little bit as well, and some berries that are hiding from me here. And I cut all of this out from the Christmas greenery die set, and that definitely is hiding from me. Oh, here it is. This is the Christmas greenery die set, and you can see you've got a lot of dies here, different shapes. You can have lots of lovely large foliage. I've just stuck to these smaller pieces of foliage for this one here, and this actually matches this paper, and you can find some of these dies like this one and this one will actually cut out images from this paper as well, so really useful. So let's see how we want to put this on our piece here. Let's see, I think we're going to have this up here like this. So let's put a dot of glue. I'm going to bring in my take your pick tool if I can find it. Where's it gone? Here it is. I'm going to put, let's just put it on here, a dot of glue there, and then I'm going to use this to just move this into position here. So it sits nicely on that. Just give it a real press. Okay, and then I've got my little piece here, my bow. I'm going to put that on top, and then that's useful. And then on top of that I'm going to put the last little piece of the bow like that. So that's what we've got so far. They're cute. Then I'm going to have my holly berries coming up the back here, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the backs here, not a lot. Holly leaves I should rather say. So there's one leaf, and then let's have the other one. There. And then I'm just gonna, well, actually I think I'm going to put these on little dimensionals, so let's find those. Get some minis here, and the reason I quite like this is that tiny bit of the mini dimensional shows through underneath the dot, and normally I wouldn't want my dimensional to show at all, but this actually is quite nice because it looks like a little white highlight. So it's a fortuitous occurrence. Okay, doesn't that look cute? Right, let's clear the decks a little bit here. Now, before I do my finishing touches, I also want to bring in these greetings for you ephemera, and the reason is I've got a little baby there, and I want to see if I can add a second sentiment from here to cover it up, just something small. Let's have a look. Merry and bright. I don't want to have the same thing all again. I think I'm going to leave it. I don't have any embellishments up here with me, I don't think. Normally I would cover that up with an embellishment, so I think that's what I'm going to do later on. But anyway, or a little bit more greenery or something. But anyway, finishing touches. I've got this Wink of Stella pen. I'm just going to add some of this. Just gives a bit of sparkle to my bow and my holly leaves and the holly berries. Okay, there we go. So there is one card one little wallet. There's the second. You can tell me which one you prefer. I hope you've enjoyed this project. If you did, I'd be grateful if you could give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And as I said, if you want any more information about the project, the supply list, the measurements, you can find it all in the description box below. So thank you for watching. Until next time, take care. Bye.